5 of the biggest UI UX portfolio and case study mistakes you're probably making and how to fix them. Hi designers, I'm Elizabeth from Designer Up, helping you level up your product design skills. So first, let's cover the basics. A design portfolio is a collection of projects that a designer has done. A simple portfolio may just include an image of the work, a title, and a short project summary. A case study is an in-depth breakdown of a single project. A UI UX case study can range in detail, but is commonly used to showcase the intricacies of designers' problem-solving and visual design skills. Case studies can be created as standalone examples or included in a portfolio. A great portfolio should show who you are and what you've done, and a great case study should show how you think, your process, and the return on investment that you can bring to a product or project. Normally, there are 5 big red flags that I've seen derail an otherwise great portfolio and case study or prevent new designers from ever finishing theirs. Red flag number 1, focusing on you and not them. It's a normal tendency for a designer to focus on creating their case studies from their point of view. You've spent a lot of time studying, working on projects, crafting your case studies, and you're understandably eager to show off what you can do and sell your services. The problem is that the audience that is looking at your portfolio is looking at it from a completely different perspective. And without understanding what they're looking for, it will be hard for you to get their attention. Imagine that you're a hiring manager or a potential client. You see a lot of portfolios, and every one of them says that they are a designer that loves to solve problems using design thinking and then shows their process. Imagine that one of those portfolios explains how well a designer knows your industry, your business, and your customers. Who do you think they'll be more interested to talk to? The key is to focus on not just you, but them. Spend some time defining the industry you want to work in and understanding what the audience of that industry needs. If you don't have a ton of case studies to show, then it's really important at this stage to niche down and be very intentional about the projects you choose to create or showcase in your portfolio. The best way to decide this is by basing it on your background and interest. Choosing an industry that appeals to you has a lot of advantages, which I'll go through in a moment. Next, research your audience. Know that you have a general idea of whether you'd like to work in, say, healthcare or fintech or e-commerce. Learn about the types of problems your audience and their users are facing and what their needs are from a designer. Show your audience what they want to see. Show them how you solve these problems, the outcomes, and what their expected return if they invest in you will be. So, why are these things important? Well, first, it's about designer-company fit. If a hiring manager or client doesn't see a match between what they're doing and what you're doing, you probably won't make it to the next round. No matter how great your case study of a fashion e-commerce site is, if you're applying for jobs in the health tech space, it will be much more difficult to generate interest when there is a mismatch. Knowing what to show. If you don't know what your audience is looking for, you won't know what to include or leave out of your portfolio and case studies. So knowing this makes it a lot easier. It saves you time and effort. Choosing an industry that you already know something about and a market whose users' problems you understand and are passionate about understanding will cost you a lot less time and energy in research later on. Job enjoyment. If you don't like working on shopping cart flows all day, then you probably won't feel very fulfilled working for an e-commerce company. So pick an industry that interests you. Red flag number 2, not shaping the narrative and the story. Showing process and deliverables is important, but without story, there's nothing to tie it all together. There's nothing for the viewer to relate to or keep their interest, and even less that separates you from other designers doing and showing the same things. The key is to add the right amount of detail and story. It's not about getting personal, but about understanding your unique value proposition. what you bring to the table, and how your background makes you uniquely equipped to understand and solve the problems facing your audience. For example, when you write your case study, you can think of the user of the product you designed for as the protagonist of the story. Make the audience, or the person reviewing your portfolio, understand what happens to the protagonist in the story. Why should they care, and what happens to them in the end? Red flag number 3, no metrics or outcomes. So you've tied it all together with story, but let's not forget about the importance of measurable results and outcomes. Ultimately, the person reviewing your portfolio will want to hire or invest in you because they're getting something in return. So how do you explain and communicate what that value is? What is their return on investment in you as a designer? The best way to do this is by adding in some metrics or metrics by association. This helps you explain and communicate the value that you bring to the table and the return on investing in you. If you worked on a real project, you can quote key metrics that your input contributed to, like increased engagement, higher customer retentions, a spike in organic traffic, or more conversions. If you worked on a hypothetical project or idea, you can quote metrics of other real-world projects and create value by association. So, find a real-world project similar to yours. For example, a shopping cart by Shopify or Instacart, and then quote their numbers. So you can say, a similar redesigned flow by Instacart increased sales conversions by 30%. Then link to their case study in yours. Having business acumen shows your audience that you're more than just a designer, that you have the awareness to see the bigger picture and help their business grow. Red flag number 4, too much deliverable show and tell. The majority of new designers have spent countless hours mastering user personas, wireframing, and creating journey maps, and they're eager to upload a screenshot and yell, "Hey everyone, I made this using the design thinking process." But most of the time, that's exactly what every other designer is doing too. The trick is to talk about your process and your experience instead. To set yourself apart, think back to your experience, meaning the thoughts, feelings, fears, and anxieties that you had while you worked on the project. What did you struggle with and why? And how did you overcome it? Employers and clients want to know that when you're in a jam, you'll be able to adjust and know what to do and how to overcome a challenge when you're faced with one and push forward. Red flag number 5, hosting your portfolio in the wrong place. There are a lot of different ways to host and share your portfolio and case studies. Should it be an HTML site, a WordPress site, on Medium? How about Behance or just a simple PDF? I've done another video breaking down the pros and cons of each of these platforms. But generally, if your portfolio and case studies are taking you months to create and you feel like you don't have the time to keep them updated, then you're probably using the wrong platform because it doesn't and shouldn't have to be that way. So choose the right place to host your portfolio and case studies. My rule of thumb for choosing where to present your work is this: whatever allows you to showcase your most important and relevant skills, whatever is easiest to set up, and whatever is easiest to maintain and update. Keep watching because a little later in the video, I'll show you what, in my experience, is the most effective way to set up an irresistible portfolio very quickly, no matter what your product design specialty. Now that you're aware of some red flags and how to fix them, let's go over what you should include in your case study and in what order. The outline presented here is based on hundreds of design students I've taught and insights gathered from top design recruiters and successful design hires from companies like Facebook, Amazon, Uber, Twitter, Apple, and more. In your case study, you should have the main image of the project, followed by a project title and subtitle, your role and responsibility level, the name of the company or client you worked for, the industry that the product is in, a project or product scope or overview, then define the problem and lay out the goals and objectives and the challenges and constraints that you were working under. Finally, add in those key metrics, show the solution that you came up with, and the outcome for the user. Tie all of that together with a strong narrative using your experience and show the value that you can bring to the company, and you will set yourself up for success. If you want to go above and beyond and really impress your audience and land that job, here are a few tips for making your portfolio stand out above the rest. First, document everything as you go when you're doing your project so that the narrative flows naturally. Create separate portfolios and case studies for different industries and different job applications. Show testimonials. If you can gather some testimonials from the colleagues and bosses that you worked with, add them into your case studies. Add video enhancements. Introduce yourself or do a product walkthrough of your prototypes. Add interactive prototypes. And remember, 1 or 2 great focused case studies in your niche is all that you need. Now, if this all sounds like a lot, that's because it is. But with our Designer Up students, we have been using a portfolio template for Notion that makes this incredibly easy. Duplicate them to your Notion workspace with just 1 click. You can then share live links to your portfolio, export them as HTML for a website, or send them off as a PDF. It really is the easiest, most effective way to create your portfolio and case studies as a UI, UX, or product designer. Even more important than the layout or the format is the content. So if you want to master your UI and UX skills and build your case study in real time with a real project, come check out our master course at designerup.co. Let us know in the comments if you found this helpful and where you are in your portfolio building journey. We'd love to have you as a subscriber to our channel, so don't forget to click the button and the bell. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.